today's video I've got 10 free sewing pattern bags for you to make up as gifts. Hi everybody, my name's Sam. Welcome to my channel Frugalisama, where I talk about all things sewing. Today I've got a video of 10 free bag patterns, maybe to make up as Christmas gifts. So I'm going to try and incorporate a few different styles of bags within this video rather than just doing all tote bags or all clutch bags. So I've tried to bring a variety of bags to you. But first of all, I would just like to say thank you so much to everyone who's subscribed so far. I managed to reach the 1,000 subscribers over the weekend, so that's fantastic. Still just waiting for YouTube to give me permission to have that community tab. I think you've got to wait a couple of days or something, so hopefully I'll get it before Friday. If not, then I'll just have to try another way of making an announcement. But once again, thank you. If you're not already subscribed, please consider subscribing if you like this sort of content. I usually bring videos on a Sunday, depending on technology, which are usually reviews and plans and that sort of thing. And during the week, I'm running this 100 days of sewing series, and today is day 38, where I'm talking about making sewing accessible to as many people as possible, regardless of budget or skills. So on to today's video. All the bags that I'm going to talk about are going to have the minimum amount of haberdashery required. Keep it within the frugal remit. The best thing about bag making really is that you don't have to worry about fit, that one size fits all really. You know, they're great for scrap busting and great for the environment because you're using up, not only are you using up scraps, you're not using plastic either, and they make absolutely fabulous gifts. And that's why I've made this video today. It's a follow-on from day 35 of my 100 days of sewing video where I was talking about Christmas gifts, when I said I'd come back and talk about some of my favourite free bag patterns. So here I am. And just one little thing whilst I'm at the beginning, the origami pouch that I showed, and I'll show another picture of that whilst I'm talking. I did contact the pattern company. It was called the Gio pouch. I contacted Patty Doo, who was the pattern designer. They're not happy for me to do a tutorial in English on my channel. They would prefer to keep everything on their channel, which is fair enough. That's absolutely fine. So yes, back to the free bag patterns that I can talk about. So starting off with the Helen's Closet coaster tote. Just made this recently, and this is it. So this is a life-size version of it. I've just used two contrasting fabrics, and I've used a black corduroy. You can see it's quite a wide wailed corduroy there, and then the little black labs. And what a fantastic pattern this is. Very simple, no haberdashery needed whatsoever. If you feel so inclined, you could bob a magnetic clasp at the top there if you feel like you want a little bit of extra security. But other than that, there's nothing that you need. There's not even any interfacing in this. Don't know if she advises to put interfacing in if you don't use something quite so stiff. Obviously I didn't need it with a corduroy. And the black labs, this is a curtain fabric that I picked up from Terrace Fabrics. I think it was about £8 or £9 a metre, so that doesn't need interfacing neither. It's supposed to be a reversible bag, so it is quite fabric hungry, and it's got box put corners, and you could turn it the other way around. I mean, I put a polka dot. I probably wouldn't use it as a reversible bag, but the way it's been designed is that it can be fully reversible. So I've just emptied it so I can show you how that's, to demonstrate how that's done. This main pattern piece here is one long piece, so you need some quite substantial lengths of fabric to do that. Just one thing to watch out for is with the pockets, because that's one long piece as well. If you've got a directional print such as I have here, if I'd have used one long piece, then those black labs would have been upside down on the other side. That's just something to look out for, and she does mention that in the written pattern instructions. You could have the pockets on the outside or on the inside, and this is just a typical case of bag making in that fabric choice is everything. This would be a completely different bag if I'd made it all in an oilskin or a denim or anything like that. Then it's down to personal taste, that's just, you know, I wanted to make it with black labs on. Like all dogs, what can I say? But my little Springer Spaniel I put a picture in there, I wasn't impressed when I had black labs on it. You could use all the same sort of material and give it a bit of a sleeker look, rather less novelty, if you like. And that's the same for all of the bags, really. A couple of varieties that I thought of it, but I mean, you could make it all in denim, maybe an oilskin, or what about an African wax print, something like that. It'd be really cool in that, something like that. I've used this regularly for work. I can get my laptop in here, I can get a reading book in, I can get my lunch, I've got my purse, my handbag. It carries a lot of stuff. It is a big bag. I was quite surprised actually when I first made it up how big it was, and I was a little bit, oh, it's a bit big, but it's actually perfect. It's the perfect size for me. Or how about putting a drawstring at the top and using it for your knitting projects, a big knitting project. You get a big jumper project in there. This is great for your needles and your patterns, no zips to get you all trapped in. So lots of ideas for that one. So that's a coaster tote by Helen's Closet. Free pattern, I will link it below, as I will with all of them. So the next one is this origami bag. I think this was the first ever bag that I ever made, so it's a little bit grubby because I've used it a lot and it's going to be quite difficult to get on the screen. Let's see if I can, that's it. There we go. Folds up really small, so you can take it on holiday as a beach bag, and it's great for folding up for your groceries. And it's just made out of 3 fat quarters, if you like. I mean, I've used scrap furnishing fabric here. There's lots of different varieties of this. I used one from Very Shannon. It's a long time ago and it's an old blog post, but I'll link the blog post below. But there are lots of varieties of it, so I've seen them lined varieties, I've seen them done all in one fabric. The only thing I would say about a lined variation, is particularly if you're doing it with fat quarters, is that you would need 6 fat quarters, so that would be quite fabric hungry. And I don't think it's really necessary, but this particular tutorial that I followed, it's all French seamed inside. You've just got a little thing to go over your handle here just to cover up where it joins up, and the French seams gives it an extra bit of security, so, and it just makes it look neater as well. So this isn't reversible. Great for beginners, especially if you're wanting to learn how to do French seams. And if you were doing the lined version, you probably wouldn't need to do the French seam. So essentially what you're looking for is a length of fabric it ends up 3 times the width as it does the height. So I've just brought an A4 sheet of paper along with me just to demonstrate how it goes. So say that's your length of fabric once it's sewn together, so you would have 3 bits of fabric sewn together, or you could do 1 length of fabric. Put a hem at the top and a hem at the bottom, and then you fold 1 piece up like that, 1 piece down like that, and then they get folded in the middle like that until they join up like that, and then that gets sewn to that which has already been hemmed, that gets sewn to that which has already been hemmed, right sides together, and that's it, you've done. So these two then form your handles which you sew together, and then you put that piece over the top. Brilliant bag for beginners, and again really roomy, you get lots in it. If you want me to do a demonstration of the 3 different types, I'm more than happy to do that. But yeah, and you box your corners as well. I don't think I did much of a job of boxing these corners, but you can box the corners off as well. So that's that one. Of tote bags for you. What about clutch bags? So the ever popular Ida clutch, that I think that did its rounds either last year or the year before, is by Kylie and the Machine, and I've just made it in this faux suedette. And all you need for this is a zip and a magnetic snap. It's fully lined, it's got a little bit of a boxing at the bottom, and you've got quite a lot of room in here actually for a clutch bag. I have seen variations where people have put a handle on it, so you could have it as a shoulder bag, but I've just used it as a clutch bag for evenings out. And again, fabric choice is everything in this. You could do it in a denim. I've actually got it lined in a Liberty, leftover bit of Liberty there. Once you attach your main to your lining, you pull it, you birth it through the lining here. So that's fairly common practice in bag making, where you pull things through so that you get a nice neat finish on the inside. So again, another simple one. So another little clutch bag is the one from Melly Sews, and it's an envelope wristlet, she's calling it. And this is what it looks like made up. I've just made it in a scrap denim, and I've lined it with the leftover from my Calilo, if you remember that. And all you need for this is the magnetic snap, and really you don't need one of those. You could just do it with just a press stud. She does a video demonstration on how to make it, and she's made it with like a pleather almost, and it's much more structured than this. And I think if I was to make this again, I would make it a little bit more structured. But I made this to go with the work from home module that I was making, and it's perfect for me. So it's big enough for a phone, a small purse, and you know, your lipstick. And when I was printing it off, my printer accidentally defaulted to it was 75% or something. That's what it looks like when it's full size, but mine accidentally defaulted to this 75%. So just watch your printer settings first of all. But that got me thinking. I thought, if I did 50%, would that make a nice little purse? Just as a bit of a practice and a bit of a demonstration, I just made it into a little purse. So it's big enough for a credit card and a few coins. Bit fiddly at this size, I have to say. And I've just lined it with an African wax print, and I've just used cam snaps on the smaller version. So a 50% gives you a small version like that, and that's at 100%. And you could go up, if it's not big enough, you could go up a size. Just be careful watch your printing settings, because it would probably go beyond the A4 and make it too big. And yeah, very, very simple. All you're doing is cutting 2 of these and a little wrist strap. And join and sew the 2 pieces together like that. And you'll have 2 pieces like that. Put one inside the other, right sides together, top stitch it round, not forgetting to put your magnetic snap in, and then turn it, leave a gap in your lining and turn it through again. Really simple. That's 2 clutch bags for you, and I'm going to show you one that I've shown you before in another video, just in case you haven't seen that video, and that's the Sew Sweetness, and it's called an easy leather hobo bag. So hobo style, just over the shoulder. And this is a really, really simple make. The only thing you need to watch really is the insertion of this round the curve. So you sew in round a curve, a little bit of hardware in that you've got a magnetic snap there, could be omitted if you wanted to, and a little bit of hardware in these supposed to be D-rings, but I've used I've repurposed an old necklace and used an old necklace for that. And that is something that you can do. You can repurpose old bits of jewellery or old handbags. If you've got an old handbag that the fabric or the leather has started to wear a bit, you can just use the D-rings and lobster clips or anything like that off them. So just something to think about. So the pattern includes putting in an interior pocket, and that's the size that she says to make it, but I've just sectioned it off so that I can put a phone in there without it falling about. And this one does, although it's called the Easy Leather Hobo, it doesn't have to be made in leather. This is just like I don't even know what it is. It's a furnishing fabric of some sort. The first one I did had a headliner foam in it, and that gives it a bit more body. But a hobo bag really is quite soft and squishy. I have seen this made in denim. A friend of mine made it in a denim. I've seen it made in all sorts of things. So Ideally you want something that doesn't fray, because these little patches here, they're just sewn onto the fabric. If you knew what you were doing, you could bring these handles through the lining and you wouldn't need any hardware. So yeah, there's lots of free bags on Sew Sweetness website. If you check, I'll link that below. I've not sewn them all. I have sewn quite a few, and I will come back to one later on that's a little bit more involved. So I'm going to go on to Sewspire now and her ultimate grocery tote, and this is a big one. Are you ready? This is really big. So that is constructed from one piece of fabric. So you can imagine that you need quite a lot of fabric, and it's fully lined as well. So I've made this in an African wax print, and it is interfaced with a fairly stiffish interfacing. But if you made it in a home decor weight, or what else does she suggest, like a canvas, a cotton canvas, then you probably won't need as much interfacing. Or you can make it in a quilting cotton, and then you probably would need it if you wanted it to stand up. And the beauty of this is this, and I think it's quite unique, is that she's got it sectioned off on the inside there. Can you see that? So you've got they've got 4 big pockets on the inside here, and she's done that so you can separate your groceries. It's quite difficult to demonstrate, but let's just see if I can do it. I think this would be an ideal bag for like taking to the beach. You could keep your towels in those separate compartments, you know, so your towels not getting everything else wet. Nice long handles, really simple construction. And you've got your boxed corners here. There's no zips, no shape flex or anything like that. She does have a little bit extra where you can put a bottom in it, so you can give it a bit more security, but not necessary really. So the next one is her Commuter tote, and this is a little bit more complex and has a bit more bits and pieces, haberdashery pieces in it. Called a Commuter tote, but I've done it in leftover fabric from my bathroom blinds, and it's just what I had left over. So this screams beach to me, or picnic. So you've got big huge pockets on the inside there, a zipped middle pocket there, so these 2 big pockets at the side, and then 4 big pockets at the front. And the way that she demonstrates how to, the pockets are lined there, and she just the way that she demonstrates how to create that little bit of edge in there, really simple, and it looks more impressive than the actual work that it takes. I'm not saying that this is the simplest of bags, because it's not, but there's just some nice details on it, and it really wasn't that difficult to do. If I can do it, then anybody can. So this has got quilting wadding in it to give it a bit of body, and I don't think there's any other interfacing in this. It's a long time since I made this. Your zip here is what you call a recessed zip. So you've got a bit on either side of the zip there, and that just gives it a little bit of extra security and extra depth. And then you've just got magnetic snaps, and it's just like little details like that. That's all in the pattern, just to give it stop the snaps pulling. 2 different handle sizes as well, so if you want to carry it just in your hand, or if you want to carry it over your shoulder, got that option. Could miss one of those off if you want. If you just wanted it as a shoulder bag, you could miss off the handles. But the beauty of Sewspire patterns is that there isn't a pattern. It's all done with just squares, and she uses this method. I think she calls it her T method or something. So yeah, you've got all the. It's just full of pockets. It's absolutely. It's a brilliant little big bag, but it is a big bag. I've used this actually as a weekend bag. You know, and again, fabric choice is everything, isn't it? You could make it less beach-like in a different fabric. And like I say, she calls this her Commuter tote, so she's obviously designed it with commuters in mind. If you did this in an oilskin, it would be a completely different bag. So that's that one. One more from Sewspire. I have shown this one before, and this is their the messenger bag, and I've done this as she recommended it, which is in the waxed cotton or oilskin, depending where you're from. And this is just ideal for if you want to take a laptop to work. I've lined it with a floral design, but if you were making for somebody who didn't like floral, you could just do that as in a plain. Loads of pockets on the inside. I'll just turn it inside out. So you've got 6 pockets on the inside, two large ones and 2 small ones on the sides, and then on the outside, a large one at the back there, so you've got files that you want to slide in there or paper. 2 smaller ones there, and then pockets to the side as well. And again, it's all just squares. She uses a T method for this. You can make that flap wider if you wanted to, so it went to the sides, and a long handle. And you just all your haberdashery you need really is these magnetic snaps to fasten it with. Because it's a wax cotton, I don't think there's any interfacing in this. I suppose it's quite fabric hungry, as is the other 2 that I've shown you, in the fully lined and the quite big bags. So you know, there is that to bear in mind. So out of all these bags that I've got to show you today, this is probably the most complex one, and I did show you this in the video that I was talking about sewing fiction, and that's the Sew Sweetness towel crossbody. So you've got quite a bit of haberdashery in this. So you've got your D-rings there, you've got a adjustable slider there, you've got 2 zips, so you've got an outer pocket zip, 3 zips actually, an inner pocket zip, and then you've got a zip at the top as well. And then these bits here are optional with the rivets, and it is optional actually to do it 2 coloured like this, or you can do it all 1 colour. It's a lot roomier than what you would imagine actually. It's for a crossbody bag you can get a lot in here, and you've just got little box corners there. So despite it being the most complex out of all of them, it's still I think a relatively easy make. And Sarah at Sew Sweetness always says at the end of her videos, if I can make it, you can too. And I would say that her instructions will hold your hand, but I would start with some of the other ones first. She has quite a few on her website. So she's got the Baker Street bag. I would say the Baker Street bag is a step up from the slouchy hobo bag that I showed you before, because it's got zips in it. So last but not least, I'm going to finish with my beloved Mars bags, because we've just come out of Sewvember, and I didn't want to start with those because you'd think she's on about Mars bags again. Sewvember is a campaign that Mars Bags runs just to raise awareness of Mars bags, and essentially what they're trying to do is keep plastic out of the oceans and reuse your fabric. The idea is this sustainability, and the idea also is that it's not a Mars bag without a Mars bag label on it, and they're designed to be given away. I mean, obviously you can keep them all if you want, but what I mean by that is not to be sold. So I haven't made 30 this year. Last year I did make 30 over Sewvember, but I just haven't had time. But these are perfect for if you're wanting to learn how to do French seams and use as gift wrap. I mean, this is just an old duvet cover that I've cut up, and that is the idea, is you're taking fabric out of a landfill. So you've got all French seams. You can do whatever handle you want. And the beauty of these is there's so many little variations on it. If you'd like me to do like five different ways with Mars bags, just leave me a comment below, and I will certainly do that. I'm sure I'll be allowed to do that. I've made them out of old tea towels, and when I got to the end of November last year, I had all these bits of scraps of fabric left over from the ones that I'd made, and I just made a quilted version, and it's fully lined as this one, and wadding as well, so it's ideal for sort of a laptop to give it a bit of protection or something like that. So that's my last one. So we've completely lost the light now. But just as a final note for free bags, are ones that are not free exactly, but ones that might be free to you depending on what subscriptions you've got. So for example, Craftsy, if you've had your eye on any of the Clum bags, so there's the Fremont tote and I think the DOP travel kit, they're both available on Craftsy. The patterns are on there, and so is the tutorial. Seamwork, if you've got a Seamwork subscription, they've got loads of bags. They've got a Madrid tote, they've got a Valencia clutch bag, which is similar to that envelope bag that I showed you before, but a bit bigger, and then with an option to put a strap on. I think they use a chain strap. They've also got a Seabrook, which is like a bucket tote, but you can put it on your back like a backpack. That's a nice one. And then fairly recently, they brought out 10 gift ideas, and amongst that was grocery bags and a handbag caddy. So I thought that was quite useful. So that's for putting inside one handbag, keeping all your bits and pieces in, lifting it out, and then putting it inside another handbag. Spencer Ogg, she has quite a few free patterns on her site. She's also on Craftsy. Her Harris tote and clutch wallet, that's on Craftsy. So again, if you've got that deal, then you can get that for nothing, or whatever you pay for your yearly deal. And Skillshare as well, they've also got one of the Clum House ones. I think that's the Portland on there. So what I'm planning on doing is compiling a list of all the pattern companies that I'm aware of and putting those into a blog post, and the ones that have got free patterns, and I'll put links to those within that blog post. Hopefully I'll get that up before this video goes out, but we'll see. It might take a bit more doing than I anticipate. So I hope you found that useful and you found something that you would like to make below. Let me know below in the comments which bag you've already made, or if you can think of any that I might have missed out. I like to talk about things that I've made myself. I mean, there's thousands and thousands of bag companies out there, so I like to talk about things that I've made myself, so that I can give you my words of wisdom, if you like. But if you've got any experience with any particular companies that you've made, and I can put that in that blog post, and maybe come back again some other time with another roundup. So that's it from me today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and keep subscribing, and hit that notification bell if you want to know when I've got new videos out. I shall speak to you later. Bye.